Good morning.
I prefer my visitors to announce themselves through my secretary.
So do I. It's been so long. How are you?
Busy.
So am I. But I'm not too busy to stop by and say hello to an old friend.
Oh, you're here to see Brian?
I'm here to see you. What's happened to us, Ben? Our relationship hasn't fulfilled its promise.
It was incredible. 3 guys right in a row. I walked in and said hello, and boom, they up and went in the opposite direction. It was like I had some kind of disease or something. Last time I go to the Castaway Bar.
Courtney, I'm really sorry you had such a difficult time.
I bet you are.
Oh, I am.
Look, I'm really in no mood to play any of your games, Dan, so why don't you just tell me what you want and then leave?
I want to talk.
No kidding. And here I thought you were here to play badminton.
Courtney, please, this is very difficult for me.
Just say it, Dan.
I have a confession to make.
What exactly are you trying to say, Preston?
That your charges against Gil Prescott must be supported by hard facts.
Gil is the father of Tina's child. There is no doubt in my mind about that.
What goes on in your mind can't justify what you did.
I talked to Stacy Phillips.
Please, let's not go over that again. Stacy was jilted by Gil Prescott. But what do you think she's going to say about it? Every time she sees him with another woman, naturally she's going to make it sound worse than it is.
All right? I went over to Tina's dorm room the other night, and guess who was there?
Yes. And what were they doing?
That's besides the point.
Talking. They were talking. They were having a conversation. Sweet Petunia, isn't that shocking? 2 adults in a room.
Well, what did you expect them to do? Answer the door in the throes of passion?
Yes. In order for you to threaten a lawsuit against Prescott Development? Yes. Threatening to break our contract. Gil had already contacted his lawyer, ready to retaliate. Son, you behave like a fool.
I am not a fool, Preston.
Then prove it.
More coffee, gentlemen?
No, thank you.
None for me, thank you.
The pity of it is that you're paying a price for this little story that you concocted in a courtroom. And the sad part, everybody else is paying the same price right along with you, including Courtney.
The word confession usually indicates that the person making it feels they've done something wrong. You, on the other hand, have never felt you were wrong about anything in your life.
Well, in a way, that's what makes this so difficult.
Amusing is the word I'd use. But please, go on. I can see you're building up for something really big here. The Dan Myers show is about to begin, and I have the front row seats.
Courtney, please, what I'm trying to tell you is very important.
As the curtain rises, Dan is alone on stage. The feeling is one of remorse. Violins play in the background. Dan is obviously deeply troubled.
Courtney, listen, my personal life is not something I'm very proud of.
Will this be a comedy or a tragedy? Still too early to tell.
I wish I could go back and make different choices, you know?
A comedy.
Courtney, I'm serious.
No, you're not. This is a farce. You obviously have nothing but contempt for my intelligence if you thought you could come over here and get away with this.
I didn't come over here to get away with anything. I'm here out of respect.
Another word you don't know the meaning
I
of.
do when it comes to you.
When have you ever shown it?
I want to show it now. I want to make you the commitment that I couldn't make before.
What commitment?
You wanted a promise that any relationship we would have would be exclusive. Well, I couldn't make that promise then. I was a fool not to, but I just couldn't. Well, I want to make that promise now, Courtney. I want you to be the only woman in my life. I have no desire for anyone but you.
I will not fear anything. Fear is an obstacle of my own creation. It can be destroyed the moment I choose to do so. I will not acknowledge it can be destroyed the moment I choose to do so. It can be destroyed the moment I choose to do so.
I wasn't aware we had a relationship.
Even people who've only said hello to each other have a relationship in the strictest sense of the word.
Yes, that's true, but I get the feeling that you mean much more than the strictest sense of anything when you talk about the two of us.
Well, of course I do. We have so much in common.
Oh, and we could have so much more in common, right?
Why all the antagonism today?
Oh, why limit it to today?
Are you going to answer all of my questions with more questions?
Oh, I'm sorry, Vanessa. Does that bother you? Isn't it a Domi belief that our intelligence is revealed through our questions, not our answers?
Why don't you just say what you have to say?
I think there's a connection between Domi and the Bedford Institute.
Oh. So you're fast friends with Jean Redlin again, are you?
We've talked, yes.
I can just imagine the conversation.
Oh, you don't have to imagine it. I'll gladly share it with you if you'd like.
What I'd like, if for no other reason than to reestablish the high opinion I used to have of you, is for you to admit that Jean Redlin's theories are nothing but speculation and supposition.
Okay, I admit there's a certain element of that involved here.
Thank you.
But there's more.
There always is.
There's my own feelings to consider. Feelings that I finally admitted have been there all along.
Feelings that you share with Jean Redlin.
Yes.
They're not valid.
Well, you're being inconsistent, Vanessa.
How?
I mean, my feelings are an accurate barometer of what's going on around me. Remember? You stood right there and you told me to trust them always. They're my most precious resource. Are you going back on that now?
No, I'm not going back on that. I stand behind that. I only challenge your interpretation of that statement.
Why? Because my feelings pose a threat to you?
I'm not threatened.
Oh, it doesn't seem that way to me.
Yes, but you've already demonstrated that your perceptions are wildly inaccurate.
Well, regardless of what you may think, I want some answers. Did you know Beverly Randolph?
What?
Good morning.
Yeah, it was.
Well, may I come in?
And if I said no?
Well, then I won't.
Yeah, right. So, how did you track me down?
Will that make any difference?
It might.
Well, I asked at the restaurant.
Oh, so much for my friends at the restaurant. Unless you tricked them.
No, I asked and they told me I didn't have to trick anybody.
Yeah, I'll bet. So, what are you here for, as if I didn't already know?
No, I don't think you do, Nancy. This came in the mail this morning, and it's an invitation to
I
it.
think I know what it is, thank you.
I thought because everything was so rushed, you might want to respond right away.
Oh, thank you. I'll get right on it. Anything else?
No?
You don't want to comment on my hotel room here, maybe? Maybe deliver a couple of sermons?
No.
Oh, why not, Ione? Here's your golden opportunity to tell me how miserable I am.
Oh, that sounds a little more like what you want me to say.
Wrong. Very wrong. I have things here that I could never have at your place.
Oh. Like what?
Like privacy. It's very private here. Night and day, I'm left alone.
Well, I'm glad, Nancy.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, that you have everything you want here. I'm glad for that.
Yeah, well, I do. The best thing I ever did was moving out of your place. If there's nothing else.
No. That is, of course, unless you just want to move back home.
Haven't you been listening to me?
Oh, yes. More than you've been listening to yourself. That's why I'm inviting you back.
Never.
Nancy, how much do you pay for this place?
That's none of your business.
That's all right. I already know. You're paying $17 a night, which comes to $500 a month, which is more than you can afford.
Well, that just shows you how much you know. Because as it turns out, they have a special monthly rate, $325.
Oh, yes, that's $125 more than you were supposed to pay me. And mine came with food.
So what? I mean, look at what I had to put up with to get it. Putting up with your sadistic little mind games all the time. And you can deny that you were trying to make a convert out of me, but we both know the truth on that.
Nancy, I won't deny that I have hopes for you spiritually, but I will deny that I tried to force my beliefs on you.
Oh, come on.
Nancy, I do want what's best for Nancy Lawson. Now, I don't profess to know exactly what that is, but I do know what it isn't. And it isn't sitting around here in a dirty hotel room and hoping that Vanessa Fazan and Domi are gonna rescue you from it. And it isn't thinking that the future is golden. Nancy, it's a step down. You've been there before. I think you'd recognize the signs.
I did not lie in court.
That's right, that's right. We have to keep up the pretense, don't we?
If you'll forgive me, I'd just as soon not sit here and subject myself to this. If you'll excuse me.
Vaughn. Look, what I feared would happen is already happening. Courtney is practically throwing herself at everything in pants in an effort to prove that what you accused her of in that courtroom is not true. So far, I think her inexperience has saved her, but that's not going to last long. She is a victim, waiting for any man to come along who knows the right button to push. Now look, go to her, alone, in private. Tell her the truth before it's too late.
Forgive a girl for being cynical, but why the sudden change?
Well, because it's only been recently that I've been able to understand what it is that you have, Courtney, the quality that's yours, and maybe uniquely yours. It's purity, Courtney. See, I've just never encountered that in a woman before. Now, I know it's my fault for not recognizing it, but in my past relationships, Courtney, I've never had any need to be anything but impure myself. I mean, women wanted me selfishly. They wanted me for my money or my position, and I took advantage of that by letting them think that they were taking advantage of me. But then, confronted with your innocence and your blamelessness, I didn't know how to act. I behaved the way I always had before. And Courtney, believe me, I know that that was wrong. And that's why I'm here to ask you to please, please forgive me and accept my offer in good faith.
By your own admission, Dan, you have very little practice in making that offer. How do I know I can trust you? How do I know that your old ways won't come back and there'll be somebody new in a matter of days?
Well, you can't be sure of anything, and you have every right to be distrustful. All I know is my feelings for you, Courtney. And those feelings are going to keep me at your side. See, your purity is an inspiration to me to be pure. I feel like a man who's suddenly been exposed to music and fine art and literature for the first time, and that exposure makes him a better person. See, and that's what knowing you has done for me.
Well, then, we could stop right now and you'd still come out ahead.
Well, sure, we could, I guess, but I hope we won't. I hope you'll give me the chance to prove myself, Courtney. I hope you'll see what a disaster it would be if you give those boys at the Castaway bar, and I do mean boys, if you give them the opportunity that I'm begging you to give me. I mean, no matter how cynically you look at this thing, you've got to see that you've got a better chance of coming out ahead with me than you do with them. I'm giving you something that you can hold on to. I'm giving you promises, Courtney, that you can hold me to. Well, look, I know I've given you quite a bit to think about, so I guess it's best if I give you some time to sort it all out, huh?
Dan,
Why aren't you answering my question about Beverly Randolph?
Because it isn't important.
Mind if I disagree?
I don't mind for my sake, but I do mind for yours.
Oh, you're good.
I'm serious.
No, you're not. Wait, let me qualify that. Your intentions are very serious. Out of necessity. You have too much to lose for them not to be.
I find this all very sad.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do. A man with your potential, and a man with your strength. A man who could rise above the pettiness of all the others. You're choosing to deliberately turn your back on all of that to become, what? To become ordinary.
Ordinary. Well, if ordinary means being able to sort out guilt and innocence, then I'm content being ordinary.
Guilt and innocence are subjective terms. We're all guilty of something we haven't been accused of. We're also all innocent of something we have been accused of. No, that isn't what I mean by ordinary. I mean something else. You're turning away from me.
At last, the bottom line.
Possibly.
All of this was really a choice between you and Lori. No contest, Vanessa.
You see so little.
Or are we hiding behind that defense again?
I'm not hiding behind anything, remember? It's not just me, Ben. It's everything that I could have introduced you to. A richer, fuller, more powerful you.
And here we go with Domi again, right?
Don't mock that which you don't understand.
There's nothing to understand with Domi. It's a perfect reflection of its creator. It's clever, complicated, entertaining, diverting, deceptive, and totally empty. It's a maze that leads nowhere, a puzzle whose only real challenge is to figure out its usefulness.
I accept.
You accept what?
I accept the challenge you just gave me. You want me to prove that my power is real. Done.
Goodbye.
Vanessa Fazan did more for me than you ever did.
Nancy, you would try the patience of Job.
You're just jealous.
Jealous is a useless emotion.
Well, it's absolutely true. You're just upset because she helped me more than you could, or your God.
The only thing Vanessa Fasson ever led you to was a spiritual blindness. And now that she's got those blinders on, she can lead you anywhere she likes and do with you whatever she wants.
That is not true. I am my own person. I make my own decisions.
Oh, that's what she makes you believe, dear heart. But if you would just stop and give it a little thought, you'd realize that you don't do a single thing until Vanessa Fasson suggests it. I'm sure Vanessa Vazan has had plenty to say about me, but that's fine. I don't feel any need to defend myself. But when she starts on talking about how it was to live with me, I'm just hoping that you'll remember the truth, Nancy. We had some warm, wonderful times there. And I don't think you're gonna duplicate it here.
I'm not asking you to prove anything.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
I recognize a challenge when I've been given one.
Fine, have it your way.
I will. A surgeon's most valuable asset.
Perhaps.
Have you had any problems with it lately?
I have a patient coming. I think it's time for you to leave.
Yes, I have business to attend to myself. We'll talk again soon.
I don't think so.
I do.
Goodbye, Vanessa.
Ben? I'll make a believer out of you yet.